we've come down to one of my favourite little beaches today. As you can see, tide's right out. It's quite a long way out to the water, but this spot has a mixture of ground. So there's rock and kelp, there's sand, and there's also lots of crevices and holes where we might find lobsters. So as always, we'll aim for a mixed bag. Who knows what the reality will be. If we get anything, it's a bonus. Just being out here, this incredible beach and location is enough. I'm trying out the gun mount today, so I'm going to have my camera mounted on the barrel. That could be really cool for getting footage of hunting the bass in the weed. We'll see. Hopefully we see some. And yeah, just using my 75 spear gun today. Great all-rounder. Remember, 75 is the length of the barrel, 75 centimeters from here to here. 75s really are, just if you're beginning, the perfect all-rounder spear gun, because they're very maneuverable, very light, and you can more or less catch anything in UK waters. And that's what I use 99% of the time, really. Got the lobster hook, foraging bag, float. So without further ado, we will get out there and see if we can find something for tea. We've almost made it to the beach. It's quite a long stomp out, but on the way back in, we'll catch the incoming tide in. We can tell as soon as we jump in, the visibility is going to be really good. As soon as we get into the shallows where the rocks meet the sand, I see this lobster just out walking. Complete bonus. I don't pass up the opportunity to dive down and secure my first lobster. He was just walking along the bottom. Caught within, what, 2 minutes of being in the water. I swim into the shallows where the swell is breaking over the rocks and the water is really warm. I see this little school of juvenile mullet here, and then just round the corner I'm greeted by some beautiful bass. I just take a moment to sort of park on this rock, really quietly, just waiting. I know bass are so curious. There's a good chance this school of fish will come back in to check me out. I swim a bit further off the shore where the kelp starts to grow, and I'm looking in the kelp for those blue backs of the bass. I can see all kinds of critters snuggled up in the reef here. A nice brown crab here, definitely undersized though. I spy a sleeping dogfish. These are pretty nocturnal, most of the time just snoozing in the day. And of course plenty of spider crabs nestled up in the crevices. Absolutely beautiful diving. I proceed to dive down and glide over the kelp, looking for any bass hiding out. It's not long before I spot one.
Saw a beautiful bass foraging into the weed. I shot him. I wasn't sure if it was the best shot. He went absolutely mad, and so I just let him go. But I think we've secured the fish, so that's really great.
Dive down here, doing some espeto, waiting as quietly as possible on the bottom, nestling myself into the kelp.
Toby and we've swam around to this beautiful cove here. I guess we've covered about half a mile, mainly just right up in the shallows. I've been snorkeling most of the time. I speared the first bass snorkeling, I caught the first lobster, I just saw it from the surface. I think that really goes to show that sometimes at low tide it can be really, really productive. You can see those critters you might not see at high tide. And another thing, you may have just seen, I saw 3 really nice bass during an espeto waiting on the bottom. Very good size, I would say 5, maybe 6 pounders. I didn't take the shot. Now, the reason for that is because the bass was swimming straight on at me. And I think it's worth mentioning here, care of shot placement. Admittedly, the shot on my first bass wasn't great. But if I'd speared that bass that was swimming head on towards the spear, I'd have completely kebabbed it, and the shaft would probably gone all the way through the fillet, and that would have wrecked what'd been otherwise amazing fish. So I was happy just to let them swim on. I was hoping he'd turn broadside and give me the opportunity, but this time they just on their way. And comes back to what I was saying earlier, spearfishing is so much more than killing fish. That's probably 1% of it. The other 99% is being out there and seeing a plethora of amazing creatures. Anyway, we'll see you in the water, finding the sand patches, see how we get on.
We swim out in about 8 to 10 metres of water and can tell where the kelp meets the sand. I dive down into the sand patches. Little dogfish cruising here out of the reef. And as soon as I get into the sand, there are just hundreds of these small flounder nestled in, completely relying on their camouflage. Absolutely amazing to see. These fish were spaced out about 10 feet apart over quite a large area. Good to see so many of them around, but I prefer eating plaice, so on this occasion I let these ones swim another day. These fish are absolute masters of disguise. You'll swim over so many of them without ever knowing it. before we head in, we decide to grab some kelp to cook the lobster in, and it's time to head in with a lovely lobster and bass.
So, we have a lobster, we have a sandy beach, nice amount of driftwood, so I'm going to try the old sand oven trick. The plan is to keep the fire going whilst we get the lobster on the coals, and then put the fire back over the lobster. Those lovely hot coals through. Now need a very thin layer of kelp. The idea behind the kelp is just to stop the lobster from burning. Lobster, we'll just dispatch him with a knife straight through there, find the cross, go straight down, and then through the head. It's dead. Lie the lobster like this. Put the kelp back over it. It's just on a kind of low heat, but you put your hand in there, it's probably like a very hot oven. I reckon we'll give it 8 to 10 minutes. It's been 8 minutes, so we'll give it a go. Straight into the ocean to cool it down, stop it cooking. Pull the tail straight off. I mean, that actually looks really, really well done. I don't know about you, that looks like a perfectly cooked lobster tail. Butter in the tail. Bit of soy sauce. Bit of lemon. I mean, that looks pretty good to me. I know it looks a bit exploded, but I've just opened it up so that we can dig in, feast away. I'm going to cut the sweet potatoes open, get a bit of butter on them, garlic butter. The lobster's got butter, soy sauce, lemon. So yeah, this will hopefully be a delicious meal. There we are. Cheers, Toby. Mm. 10 minutes. Smoky, right?
Perfect time. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. Joe PK does it again. Cooking up a storm. Great lobster. And the potatoes as well. Cooked perfectly.
Cooked in this method, it's hard to put it into words, but where the real heat from the coals and the embers has contacted the shell, it kind of gives this bittersweet smokiness to the outside of the lobster, which is really, really pleasant. And it's not something you really taste, I think, if you boil it, or you know, even if you cook it on the grill. I think it's that smokiness, that char grill kind of outside. What do you think, Toby?
I agree. It tastes so much better in the fire, 100%.
But yeah, that was about 8 minutes. Yeah, in the kelp, in the coals. So good going home with you know, some nutrients in you, and yeah, nutrition, hydration, and look forward to another trip very soon. See you then.